Hello and welcome back to another episode of World of Warcraft Hardcore. My name is Syken and today we are continuing the World of Warcraft Hardcore series on the official servers of Stitches. It's time for our rogue, Syken Hides. We have finished Ironforge and large parts of Westfall. And now it's time to do what Rested XP is telling us to do, and that would be just going to Oberdeen. Remember how I mentioned I would have been to Oberdeen a long time ago if it wouldn't have been for me? Well, the guide finally came to its senses and has now pushed us to Oberdeen. Good. Time for us to start doing the, in my perspective, best quest area in the entirety of level 10 to 20. And I would not be surprised if we would be continuing to stay here for a long period. There is really no match in the quest density of this region. I would have gotten here a long time ago if it wouldn't have been for the guide, but yep, be it as it may, we can still go here. And so far the guide has not left us stranded. Punchline intended. Good. We need to get 6 young crawler legs. Easy enough. And we need to find a corrupted Fullborg camp. Also easy enough. Fullborg camp is to the left. We're going there in a second. Just getting the reef crawlers with all of their meat. So far 1 out of 6, not great, but okay. And we need to go all the way in here in order to find, quote unquote, the source of the corruption. And then afterwards, when we're trading back in, we will need to kill a couple of these guys. Anyways, more crawler legs. And then we need to capture a bear and go all the way back. Not a problem, but first we need to get the crawlers. Good. Well, these are grey mobs. Not really a concern for us. Rabbit Thistle Bear captured. That's one of the next things that we need to do. Game suggests us, or the guide suggests us to stay here. You may need to go into the water for the crawler legs. Well, thank you, guide, for mentioning that. But I think the crawler legs have a follow-up. Which is why the guide is so eager for us to finish the quest. Okay, I don't think that the Threshers offer anything. Pretty sure, matter of fact, that they don't. This here would be the next stranded creature, but we first need to finish the first creature, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, can't click yet. That's unfortunate. Well, there is nothing such as bad experience. We can just kill all of these guys for extra XP. And we're getting closer to those 6 crawler legs. There we go, 4 out of 6. Slowly but surely getting there. We're just speeding up the process whilst one of them is running from the sea. We're already killing the next one. Alright, 6 out of 6, crawler legs, fantastic. Next up, get the rabbit Thistle Bear. This is us just getting a bear and then moving it back into town. Plenty of Moonstalkers. We need these guys a little bit later. And lots of dead bear. Not good. Since we only have one layer, we can't even go on to a different layer. Well, no bears here. Alright, let me find one. Alright, finally found one. Captured him. And now turn in the bus box to the north, and then we're turning in the bear. The guy definitely does smaller rounds than I would normally do it, but that might be optimal just to get all of the stuff sorted immediately so that we get the follow-up quests. You need to do multiple rounds anyways. Alright. Turning in Wash to Shore and the Grizzly. Are we sure that we don't want to trade in the bear? Are we tripping here? I don't think that we want to keep the bear following us. Let's trade that in first, even if the guy does not tell us to do so. Guide tells us to jump into the water and take it from there. Fair enough. But I think we want to first of all get rid of the bear. Alright, so now that we have that out of the way, let's continue with going into the water, get 3 Thresher Eyes, and take it from there. Then we're looting another sea turtle remains, which is on the left hand side here, so I can definitely follow that part of the guide. That makes sense. Not the biggest fan of the water quest, but whatever. I think it's still efficient because we just need to kill a couple of threshers. Luckily we do have ranged weapons such as throwing knives. Because it really takes a while until you get to those guys. How many Thresher Eyes did we get? 0? Really? Alright, first eye. Can't believe it. This here is the sea turtle, which is why I'm moving to here. Fantastic. So we just need one more Thresher Eye and we should be good to go. And afterwards we're turning back in. The guide here is 15 to 18. So we're pretty much in the middle level wise. There we go. Cool. So let's trade in wash to shore. What else? Then we gotta accept the red crystal. Okay, sure, can do that. That's over here, the red crystal. I think we've already accepted that quest. Turn in the plague lens, which we have already done. That was the bear that I didn't want to bring into the water. Except deep ocean, vast sea. I don't understand why we're not just accepting all of the quests here. For me, that seems like an absolute idiotic idea to not do it. But okay, whatever. Turn in the Wind Reaver, accept triple quest. Okay, sure. And we want to move northwards. Now we are going to have a couple of water quests, and I know them very, very well. Those are the dangerous type of quests. That's where most of the people here in Darkshore are dying, because they run out of air. Make sure you have a full breath bar before diving down and entering. Guide even accounts for that. Yep, running northwards. Let's go, boys. Alright, we're in the water. Not the biggest fan of these quests in particular. But okay, sure. If Rested XP says we shall do it, then we shall do it. My first impression is the guide generally is decent, good actually, in terms of optimizing pathing and ways. A lot of the quests that you are doing are really straightforward. Like there is not a lot of hush-push left and right. The selection of the quests I would question. Don't think that that is particularly well done. I think it's done with a mindset of optimizing the time that you spend per quest. Sometimes, however, quests are being just left out, left and right. And I don't think that that is a very good thing. I believe there are better ways of doing less zones and still being effective. This, by the way, where we need to open it. You can see breath meter is running very, very low. Luckily our kill speed is very, very fast, so that's not a problem. But yeah, it's easy to get lost under deck. And this dive here in particular, the second one that I'm now attempting, that's a very dangerous one.
I'm out of range.
Specifically since the enemies can fully abuse Y-axis, so attack you from below, whilst they can also stun you. Anyways, problem solved. It looked easier than it actually is. You can very easily die here. Alright, kill Force Riders, kill Moonstalkers, kill Rabbit Thrystal Bears. Essentially kill everything. This part I will agree with is quick and efficient. We need to basically kill all of the wildlife here. Someone else on the same quest, as you can see, Rabbit Thrystal Bears are pretty much dead. Alright. Gotta get Strider meat, gotta get 20 of the bears. Gosh, that's a lot of kills. And we gotta get Moonstalkers, 6 fangs, okay. Some of them are already grayish, so might need to find an area where there are a little bit higher enemies. Specifically now that we've leveled even further. Can't believe it's just straight up 20 kills. Don't remember that quest. Okay, I think this is a perfect timing, by the way, to fast forward, because holy smokes, that's a lot of kills that I need to take. So fast forward for you guys. Alright, short break in between. Gosh. Sometimes you just gotta hate the Rested XP guide. Everybody is following it, which, whatever. I suppose people just don't want to quest by themselves, that's okay. And I appreciate that not everybody is very knowledgeable about quests, that's okay. So I don't hate that at all. However, the guide kind of produces a tourism where people are just visiting certain areas and then immediately recall. I promise you, the guide tells you to recall after this one. We're going to continue getting the Rabbit Thrystal Bears and the fangs. Unfortunately, we weren't as successful yet. In the meantime, we're also going to get a couple of the beached turtles. Can hardly imagine that the guide has anything to say against just getting the beached turtles. Specifically since this year is free bonus experience. Funnily enough, it not automatically accepts the quest because apparently that seems to deviate from the golden path. Maybe that quest was meant to be taken a little bit later. I just also realized I'm not proficient with my weapons, which is annoying. Anyways, back to the grind of the Moonstalkers and the bears. Alright, as part of just running around and killing bears and panthers, it just so happened that I reached the Naga cave. I know for a fact that this Naga cave contains quest objectives. Death Clasp and Stable Stalk. There is no follow-up quest. It's basically just do the quest here and get out of here. It's collecting a couple of mushrooms. And no matter what the guy tells me, I'm just going to do that. Because why would it be more efficient to not do it right now? There is literally no reason for that. Gotta collect 5 of the blue mushrooms and 1 of the golden ones. Easy peasy, and not get knocked down. These wave riders do have a pushback. Oh yeah, and kick the casts from time to time. Alright, problem solved. Just need a few more of the blue mushrooms and we should be good to go. Don't want to be an asshole here and pick up his mushroom that he is fighting for. So we're going to do the right thing, which is be friendly and basically get your own mushrooms. Which then in turn starts pulling half of the cave. Good. So that's an easy collection of mushrooms here. Just getting out of here afterwards and we're done. The guide would have not allowed to take that for whatever reason. Like I said, I think the guide generally is fine, but it has a weird kind of progression where it assumes you will get everything in a certain quest area first try, and then once you're done with it you're just going to leave said area, and the moment that something goes wrong, in this case we couldn't really get the bears immediately, so we needed to expand our radius a little bit, I suppose. And the moment that something goes wrong, it completely shuts down and doesn't account for the fact that you could pick something up somewhere else. So yeah, I think that's a bit the limitation of the guide as far as I've seen it so far. Alright, we're going to get the rest of the rabbit thistle bears and then the moonstalkers once both is done. I think the guide desperately wants us to go, oh no, it actually wants us to take another quest here, which is fine. We can do that. So on we move to the next quest. Alright, so we are done with hunting bears and leopards. Next up, we're locating a red crystal, and then hopefully afterwards we are Going to collect a couple of small eggs, and that's pretty much it. And that's pretty much it. We got highborn relics and a couple of other low-level quests to the south. Might as well do that next. The guide now tells us to kill moonkin for their small eggs. Not only an excellent source of protein, but also of experience.
I'm out of range.
Come on. Path a little bit faster. Thank you. Some of them are casters, like the oracles.
I need to get closer. That ability isn't ready.
So I won't take the guide too literal. It tells me to get 10 eggs. We're just going to slaughter how many are going to be here, and just take whatever we can find. In the meantime, this is where we need to go. The crystal. Gosh, the kill speed is immense.
I'm out of range.
Rogues certainly benefit a lot from world buffs, specifically at the beginning. Just look at that.
Inventory is full.
Crazy. Good, completed that. Guide still doesn't want us to get any to get back yet. It wants us to continue killing until we get 10x. I wonder, sometimes the guide is like very adamant in getting something like the X, for instance. Good, let's assume we're done with that. I think the guide then sends us to the south, where we're going to get the highborn relics. And I assume the guide does that because it wants us to still be able to kill all of the stuff there without being over leveled. For the time being, we're level 17, so that's already pushing it quite a bit. Good, we got 7 eggs. And we're also like full in terms of loot. Definitely need that little break where we can unload. So it's interesting. The guide also wants us to level cooking, which is fine. I don't mind that. I'm avid cook, in game and out of game, so I don't mind leveling that at all. I just find it funny that the guide wants us so desperately to get the eggs. Haven't seen that yet. Because there are also other ways of leveling. I mean, we're at like what, 55 cooking.
Inventory is full.
It's all good.
I'm out of room.
Oh, we're having forced respawn here. Interesting.
Not enough energy. Inventory is
There we go. Wait a second.
can't carry.
Cool. So, travel to south towards Sentinel Taishar Moonblade, which is pretty much right there, except the fall of Amarasharan. Yeah, I remember that. There is also a non-aggro ghost running around here. I think it was Amarasharan, or whatever her name was. I vaguely remember that I made a macro to spot her out. And with one layer, it's a bit of a tough one to do that. She's very much camped. All right, we gotta get her pendant, and we gotta loot 7 highborn relics, which should not be a big problem.
It's too far away. You can't do that. I'm out of room. I need to get closer.
That's her. Just found her straight ahead. Very good. So let's get to her. There we go, that's the pendant we've been looking for. And we now need to destroy 2 seals, plus get a lot of those pendants. And what the guide does very well though is it makes sure that you're always in a overleveled state. You know what? Let's get the highborn relic. Yes, thank you. And we would have already been way further down the line if I had the inventory space for the highborn relics. So a little bit of a side gig. We need to read those stones. But yeah, since we are over-leveled, which the guide does a really good job in providing, all of those fights feel super easy. Alright, so that's one down. That's 2 down, and then we're going to get number 3 down as well. And being able to kind of do all of those quests over leveled also means you go in without no fear. Double pull, not a problem. Good. There's the last relic, and we're done here. Good. Next stop, I think we're just going to do how big is the threat thing. And that should be it. I have to wonder why there are still lots of trade-ins north. That should not be the case. Funny, grind to level 16. My dude, I'm almost level 18. Good. Our job here is to kill, I think, 14 enemies. 8 and 6. So that's straightforward. I think we're just going to do that once we're done. I will, no matter what the guide says, just trade in everything for now. Because, boy, I need a break. And the inventory needs a break. Alright, fast forward for you guys. Alright, so we're done with a lot of quests. Game still tells me to accept more beached creatures, which, yep, that the guide isn't wrong with that, but at the same time the guide is very wrong. We want to trade in all of the quests now, do a little bit of cooking, get our skills done. We definitely need a bit of a break. And I can almost guarantee you that we're going to level and that I'll need to train skills at some point because we're level 18 and I think I haven't trained in a while.
What can I get for you today?
See you soon. Greetings, dead man.
Good. There we go. Problem solved, level 18. Guide still wants us to pick up more quests. That's okay. Filling that empty ball, which is for a quest further to the north. Gosh, I need to sell.
Elune be with you. Goddess watch over you. Elune light your path.
Triple beach creature. I wonder when the guide was thinking about trading all of those in. We were right next to the city, and it still didn't want us to trade in. It's crazy.
I am on. Ishnuala. May the stars guide you.
All right, good. Let me do a bit of housekeeping. All right, so traded in a couple of quests to the north, and I gotta confess I deviated from the guide a little bit because there were like 4 quests up here, and I just simply did them. Don't care if the guide doesn't like it, but I don't want to walk all the way back up here to do the to redo the quests. That would have just been stupid. I can't imagine that that would be more efficient. The guide still wants us to get the beach creatures here and here. Fair enough. Should not be a big problem. And then I think it will want us to take all of the beach creatures alongside the shore here, which I think is fine. I'm not 100% sure what the take on the guide is with regards to the quests to the south. There are quite a few actually. Not all of them are good. Some of them take a while and are not really providing a lot of experience. But the one thing that the guide does very well so far is be in this area for a long period of time. I already mentioned that Dark Shore, my perspective, is by far the most efficient area. Super stacked with quests, very, very fast.
I need to get closer.
And we're like around 7 hours in to that game, playthrough, and we're almost level 19, which is pretty damn good. Impressively fast so far, but part of it is also the rogue being a very, very fast leveler. Still need to learn the battle hammers, and that'll come in a second. At the moment the guide just wants us to still accept the beast creatures, which absolutely makes sense because these are like super fast ways of getting 500, 700 XP here and there. So that's okay. I think once we're done with those quests though, I'm not 100% sure if the guide wants us to do all of the quests to the south here. Like I said, because some of them aren't that great experience, and I could imagine that the guide instead wants us to kind of go back and do the rest of West Shire, as well as maybe some Red Ridge Mountains. That's what I would do if I wanted to speed through it. Good, except Fruit of the Sea. Guide wants us to go all the way back to 69, so that's up here. Yeah, like I said, I'm not surprised that we're not doing the quests on the southern shore. These are partially level 20-ish, so with the logic of the guide, it doesn't want us to do that. Instead, tells us to travel back, turn in all of the quests, take a boat to Dornassus, go to Dornassus, train our class skills, fly back to Darkshore, and then it wants us to level cooking, which is fine. I mean, we've done that already. Then it wants us to Eladrian Night Song. I think then it wants us to actually go further down. Okay, fair enough. That looks like an Ashen Vale Engel. Wasn't sure that it would want to do that. I suppose you can do that. Maybe it just wants us to get the flight point. Who knows? I'll just follow the guide for now. It did us very well. So I think that's the natural end also of today's episode. We did a lot of Darkshore. We're going to do some housekeeping, getting all of the skills in Darnassus, as well as maybe learning a weapon technique or two. Daggers, I think we already know, but who knows? I mean, there are a couple of other weapon techniques that we can still learn from the Weapon Master in Darnassus. That, however, will happen until now in the next episode. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you all, and have a good one. Bye bye.